Contrary to popular belief, this is not just rap music. This is life. So I offer you right now, life. Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.
What's happening? Episode 36, UnMask'D podcast. Still here, God is good. So glad to be here still. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Trez, 1/3 of UnMask'D. Across me, I got my boy P. What's happening with him, man?
Yo.
What's good?
Hey, man, we here, man. King to a God, all of that.
Still blessed.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Low Sin. Rest in peace to my man Sauce, man. D Spins, what's good?
Good, I'm good. Cognac crew, live and in effect.
Yes, sir.
You know, 36.
P, I like that shirt, man. It's real Miami-ish.
Hey, man.
I see you, boy.
I got it because it matched the Statue of Liberty on my hat. You know what I'm saying?
It's looking real Miami-ish.
So y'all can see it a little
Them
bit.
do look like some
You know
It look real Miami-ish over there. I like it.
What's going on here, Pete?
Hey, man, Jim Jones said the summer in Miami. Fuck it. I ain't opposed. You know, that's where the fuck we go.
Okay.
Gangsters don't die. They get chubby and move to Miami.
Miami.
The fuck? I'm supposed to fight it?
Let's go.
So 36, fellas. You know, a lot to talk about. I wanna first and foremost say, you know, I appreciate you because we had a good conversation, Trez. I appreciate you because we had a good conversation. We talked about something that, you know, we recently touched on, you know, in the last few weeks on UnMask'D, and it had to do with education, right? And in my synopsis, and of course what you brought to the table was that, you know, education is not necessarily changing for the better. It's either flat or either getting worse. You know? And when it comes to overall, that's from a student side and the teacher side and just the education system overall. And I'll let you kind of kick us off because I know you had a topic that, you know, was dear to your heart. Just because it, you know, affects home. So
most definitely, you know, because I got a young daughter that's about to be entering into her junior high school years, which is crucial.
mm-hmm.
But even on top of that, you know, just with the unfortunate COVID situation that everybody had to go through last year, it put a lot of us through that virtual schooling reality.
Mine too.
You know, I was just doing some research because, you know, with the cases going up like crazy right now in the schools, they was kind of mentioning possibly bringing the virtual back, bringing it back up for the kids to go home. And I'm so opposed to that shit because it taints the child's learning. And I that's something that I've always felt personally. But, you know, I was listening to the radio. I'm not going to say the show, but I was listening to a radio show the other morning when I was taking my daughter to school, and they had somebody on there speaking in regards to, you know, what's going on with the kids learning. Just numbers last year, they said that over 60% of the kids last year that was doing virtual homeschooling were failing.
Wow.
Whose fault is that, though?
I mean, right, but you're asking a parent to be a full-time parent, work a full-time job, and now become a full-time teacher. And that's where the problem.
I don't think you need to be a full-time teacher. You know, I'm going to play devil advocate on this shit. I don't think you need to be a full-time teacher.
I'm going to tell you like this.
I just think you need to make sure the work is done.
The virtual schooling, the teacher's not staying on there 8 hours a day. They're going to come in there, give you a lesson, drop off. They're going to tell you to come check back in 2 or 3 hours.
I mean.
So where's the lessons to be learned?
I don't know because my child isn't in that arena.
That's what I'm saying. So the teaching part is now gone. It's up to the parents now for us to teach the kids. But if we over here trying to work, now, you know what I'm saying, if the kids home, that means the parents got to be at home working from home.
So you saying that, and I'm asking because I don't know, in your children's situation, the teacher's only online for...
They're not online all day teaching.
So as if the child,
their light is on.
So for the duration of the class, the teacher's not available. Is what you're saying?
It's so like this. So like, it's like, okay, we'll log in. We got to meet at 10:15, and we're going to 10:15 to 10:45. We'll be virtual. from 10:45 to 12:25, you're free to do your lessons or whatever. We're going to check back in at, that 12:45, do something else for another 45 minutes to an hour, and then, I'll be back with y'all again at 2 o'clock.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what grade? Hold on, what grade is your daughter in?
She's in the 5th.
Okay, so she got one. Well. She got one teacher for all subjects.
No.
So then, how we doing this then?
Exactly.
And in my daughter's situation, she does have the homeroom where the majority of the subjects she has one teacher.
Yeah, my daughter got 3 teachers.
For like art and for like the P and all that, stuff.
It's the transition right before junior high.
Education.
Right.
There's a few.
I'm just trying to figure out, and again, this is my ignorance, so I'm asking questions.
No, we understand. We good.
So if the homeroom teacher also teaches 3 other subjects, right. Let's say math, English, science, social, whatever.
The major ones, probably.
The major ones, right? You're telling me that if the first class or those 3 classes start at 9 and end at 12, that teacher is only available for an hour on screen?
So I will say now, and this is where I kind of got to dive into like the details, the specifics, right? So my daughter last year, and I'm just using last year because it was the thick of the pandemic, right? And so last year it was the teacher was not always available. So it would be like hers wasn't in hour increments. It was more or less one day she's there, one day she's not. So throughout the course of the week, right? If you're dealing with let's just say 40 hours, right? If they in school. She was there, the teacher was a woman. So that teacher was only there 2 days. So essentially only 16 out of the 40 hours. So that's how my dynamic looked. It wasn't a hour on, hour off, hour here, hour there type of thing. It was.
Even on top of that, though.
What was the accessibility to the teacher?
So depends on the teacher.
It does depend on the teacher. And again, this is my particular example, right? My particular example, she was available. Let her tell it all day. But the moment I'm texting and calling or trying to communicate.
Delayed response.
Very delayed. I'm talking about next day.
2-3 hours or so. That's what I'm saying. It shows available. I'm expected to ping back pretty soon.
Yeah.
Within 30 minutes at least. If you're showing available.
If you have an IM unit that you're using. SMS. Yeah.
I'm showing that you're available. Why are you hitting me at the end of the business day or the first thing the next morning?
So this kind of begs my thing, and this is where, because what you alluded to, and if I can be honest, from what I understand, just to reiterate what you're saying, basically reiterate what you were saying. You were saying that it'll set the kid back a year, almost 2.
It says from what they were saying. So yeah, it's going to set the kid back about a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Doing another year of virtual schooling. So
and if I can go through some numbers, so. This is Department of Education, right? So it says 1.5 million students either did not enroll or dropped out over all the public schools. And we're just talking public schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
22% of that was pre-K and kindergarten, right?
Okay.
And so it's starting at, what I'm saying is that it affects these kids early on. Mm-hmm. It's hurting early on. And then as you go into the more of the numbers, it's usually, those younger groups. Like his daughter, my daughter, so 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd, and then like I just gave you the numbers for pre-K and kindergarten, right?
Okay, but can you give me the numbers for how much homeschool increased?
That's where I was about to go. So it may have increased, but is it really being homeschooled?
No, I mean,
so
that's
we just
a whole
talking
other
about
subject. I'm just saying, if you're talking about dropout ratio,
yeah,
I want to know the increased ratio of homeschool or private school.
That's the thing, and I know what you're saying. So, but I'm just saying the alarming rate of just no school. We're not talking about.
Yeah, we can't say that though. Unless you give me the other numbers, you can't tell me the alarming rate of no school.
No school. That's what I'm seeing. That's an amazing.
That's the narrative they're painting because they can't give you that, right?
Yeah. Then if you go around and you research, what you'll see is a common theme of. This hasn't been updated.
So the thing
since,
with the homeschool,
before the pandemic, and they're scared to give the numbers.
Yeah, how's the homeschool really increasing? Because people are back working.
No, but some people I have I have a friend. Hold on, I got a friend that she had a school all last year. She had a school, and she had several kids in her school that she homeschooled. I don't want to give the exact number, but I'm going to say at least 5. Hold on, at least 5 kids.
They would come to her home.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Right. What I'm saying right now with the pandemic, parents don't want their kids around the other kids.
Okay, that's that. She found a niche. She did it, and she was successful at it. So now, do you want your kid? If you don't have the ability to teach them at home,
I'm pushing my daughter.
And you can send them somewhere where they can learn with 5 other kids. Would you rather do that, or would you rather have them at home not learning because you don't have the capacity to teach them?
I would push my daughter to go to school.
If that's not an option. Because when the pandemic kicked off, going to school was not an option.
It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you either had to do your thing, or get them somewhere where somebody was skilled to do it for you.
That's fine. If I can get them somewhere and it's reasonable and that like,
and their credentials line up. That's what it's really about.
That's more, but on that level, Trez, I think you're talking more or less about trust factor.
Yeah,
it's a trust factor in everything because you're not necessarily in P. I may have misheard you or I may not have heard the whole piece. But are they going to a house or are they going to a location like a secluded location?
No, it was a house.
So I'm saying and I may be wrong, I may be misquoting you. You can speak for yourself, but I don't know you. I don't know your household. I don't know who finna pop up.
That's you doing that. This person, I'm sure, was certified, had all the credentials they needed, and I'm sure that they took on people that they knew, right, or that knew of them. You see what I'm saying?
That's not going to benefit everybody.
No, it's not for everybody. It's if you have that option. In everybody's circle, you have an option, right? Or the potential of having 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
You have an option.
True.
So if you know somebody that's an educator and they say, look, I'm not working for the school no more. I'm going to teach kids at my home.
House.
And if Spence know that person and know their credentials and I trust Spence, then, hey, man, see if they got a spot for my man.
Ain't nobody stepping up like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
I can't say no because I know somebody that did step up.
It's not a lot of people.
To answer your question, though, P, if I check it out and that's well within my reason and my capability, absolutely,
right.
I'm taking that option. If to answer your question,
I'm just saying that when you engage in numbers like that, because I'm here to play devil's advocate.
Yeah,
right.
Understood.
I need the other side for you to say that it's not. The scale isn't working right.
Yeah.
What I will say is, if that is the case, right, and the slippage is an average of 1 or 2 years, then as a parent, you got to do better.
So that means we would have to sacrifice.
That's your job as a parent.
Yeah, and it's
your job as a parent to sacrifice. When that child comes out the womb, your job is to now sacrifice.
It's also to provide.
Okay. So providing comes at sacrificing.
So
it does,
right.
But I will say this is the conversation.
The same shit.
And again, this is the conversation. Just to kind of, go down memory lane a little bit. This is the kind of conversation I was trying to say. Because now you, as a parent, you have to. Unfortunately, you're gonna take your stance, which is not a bad thing. I'm just saying. Unfortunately, you have to take a stance one way or the other, right? So when I look at it from that perspective, say there are parents that just now they, like you said, Trez, can I or can I not? They're just parents that are going to ask that question naturally. They're just out there, right? And then to your point, I get what you're saying.
Some parents are not capable of teaching their kids because they may not be smart. They may not have the intelligence or the knowledge enough to pass it on to their kids as far as a learning manner. So that's when the parents are disaffect. That's why we send the kids to school.
That is then now your opportunity to
find a way
to learn.
You can't really be learning on the fly while you're trying to teach somebody.
It's hard. It is hard.
You should be able to know how to work the internet better than your child, depending on the age of your child, to get the information you need.
Hey, these kids.
Man, let's stop.
Hey, these kids these days are different, bro.
Stop it. No, you stop.
Stop.
Okay, I'll say this. Hold on. This is my own personal business. Mm-hmm. I haven't shared this with many.
Yeah.
I've recently started going back to school.
Congratulations on that
You can Google the answers to the fucking quiz.
Yeah.
And get it verbatim.
The whole thing.
So you're telling me you're failing online is a lack of a fucking attempt to Google. We're not talking about retaining information. Let's stop with this bullshit.
Well.
Let's stop. So it's either failure or you or your child to Google the right shit. Because it's already out there. This shit ain't new. It's the same shit from last year. So who's lazy?
Well, you can look at it that way.
You look at it as being lazy, bro.
So let me ask you.
I look at it totally different than, like, I'm not going to agree with P at all in this motherfucking situation. So you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you go. Because I know you.
It ain't nothing. I want my daughter to have the best learning. And as a parent, I'm going to be there to do that as well. So now you want me to work a full-time motherfucking job and be a full-time fucking parent. There's only 24 hours in a day.
You're always a full-time parent.
Right. But I also got to make that fucking money.
Okay.
So if my job says I can't work from home, what the fuck am I supposed to figure out? Answer that for me.
Then
what?
Who else in the family?
Nah. Then what?
What you mean? Then what?
I co-parent. It's me. You know about it's me.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So
come on, devil's advocate. Talk to me.
What is your daughter's mother doing?
Talk to me.
What is your daughter's mother doing?
Running her business.
Okay. What is the grandmother doing?
Who said we got family out here?
No, you say it's you. I'm talking to you.
Right. There ain't no family out here, P.
No other family out here besides you and your child's mother.
They work.
It's a way to make it happen, Trust.
I'm listening.
So
I'm listening, devil's advocate.
You don't have nobody you trust?
This is the
so somebody has to forfeit their job.
No, I'm not saying so.
That's where it's at right now, because at the end of the day, if a kid comes home, but everybody else has to work, somebody's gonna have to stop working to teach the kid. Why? Because the schools don't want to do that shit no more. Talk to me, devil's advocate.
It's not that they don't want to do it, it's that the environment is not safe for your child to be in.
So this is what I kind of wanted you to touch
It's not that they don't want to do it. The environment is not safe.
Because it ain't about being a lack of a parent. It's now you putting more pressure on the parent to teach a child, bring the bills home, put food on the table, and all this other shit.
You're a black man. You've been doing this shit for centuries.
I've been doing it. I ain't been alive for centuries. Maybe your ass have.
Have been what?
For centuries? You been alive?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying your DNA is already built and ingrained in you. Stop.
In some people's DNA. Not everybody. Don't do that.
I'm gonna say this, Pete. And I'm right on par with you in this regard. Trez, I got you, man. Let me just do this real quick. Let me make this point. So I've been there where I've taken a whole course. You know, I'm doing the same thing, right? On and off. But I've been there where the whole quiz I can take online. I literally can take it online.
But what are you learning?
So hold on.
Again, it's about it's retain or pass.
So and I got to kind of go on this side, right? As a parent, bro, right? So if you have to retain, because what he's talking about is they're behind as it is. So we got to retain. And here's the other piece to that, right? So when you look at it like this,
he's all about the past. It's not about
I'm not all about the past. We're talking about two separate things. If we want to address it, let's address it.
We address it.
Because in my scenario, I will have you pass and I'll teach you how to retain when we have more time. In that same confines of time, then, okay, look, if I got to keep you up an hour past, because I know during the day, according to y'all, the teacher halfway there, so you going to be halfway there. Now, when I have more free time, that's when we'll work on how you retain this information.
That's solution.
If the bedtime is normally 9, now it's pushed to 10, so now I can help work with you to retain this information. Whatever my free time is to dedicate to this,
right,
instead of whatever else I was doing with my free time, now I'm focusing it on that.
I feel you.
No matter what hour it is.
Okay, and that's okay, and I can get behind that. But I just felt like when you talk about that piece, right, retaining a passion, I get that piece, what you just said, like let's just double up as time moves on.
It's two different things,
right? But when I look at it, and we talking about these kids,
time is still moving.
Stuff grows as the years go on.
Yeah,
so
but I'm not saying
they coming home. They coming home.
You're a year behind,
and you may be able. You may be able to do certain shit on Google, but when that teacher says show your work, and you got to sit there, everybody don't have that.
Break this shit down. How did you do it? How did you get the answer to the problem?
Okay, but again,
it's a learning curve in some households, bro. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I get that. In some households, there is a learning curve. But you then have to turn around and invest back in whatever the situation is. You have to, at all aspects of life, we, especially as black people, for the most part, have learned to adapt. This is just a new arena to adapt in.
In certain aspects, yeah, I agree.
You just have to find a way to adapt.
I agree.
So again, I'm not my focal point is not that you Google to cheat. My focal point is Google to meet a deadline. And at the same time, I'll show you how to retain this information. It doesn't stop by you submitting the paperwork.
Yeah.
We still got to do the work. We just can't because of the way I work, my schedule and trying to feed the household.
I feel you falling behind by doing it that way.
You're not. You have to reach
because there's always with school
in our life,
there's a deadline every week, every day.
I just answered that question, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean,
Google to meet the deadline.
Right. But you said, right. if we're meeting deadlines, but they're never retaining a situation.
You never let me finish that point.
You said at your own time.
I said within that same time frame.
So say there's two.
Good dialogue.
Say there's 2 projects due in the same week. We're trying to do it on our own time. Your own time is keeping your child up an hour later past their bedtime. That's what works best for you.
The teacher ain't in the fucking class anyway.
Right.
So they can sleep during the fucking day.
So that's what we're trying to teach our kids, though.
I mean, we adapted to the fucking situation.
I'm never going to teach my daughter to sleep during the fucking day. Whether she's at home learning, or she's at school.
If you're telling me something,
she's never going to sleep.
If you're telling me something, okay, well then Google during that time frame.
You tell your daughter to sleep at home.
Listen,
what happens after 21? It's a habit. You created bad habits, bro.
You're not listening. No,
I'm listening.
I'm teaching you how to adapt to the situation based on the information you are giving me because I'm no longer in that environment.
I'm talking
Hold on. If you are telling me that your daughter logs on from 8:30 to 12 o'clock and the teacher is only there for an hour.
But they have courses that have to be done within that time.
What did I just say?
So, and like I said, this is good dialogue. This is what I was trying to.
If I'm not there for those 3 hours or for that time frame from 8 to 5, then I have to show my child how to get that information and turn that in during that time frame. Now, when I do get home at 5 or 6, that's when now we have to go back through this and let me show you the right way of how to do this, how to get this information, how to retain it. So this is when I quiz you to make sure that you know it. So when the shit comes up again, now you're prepared. If there's a test or a quiz spot on the moment and the teacher's looking there on Zoom at this time, you know how to do it.
I'm curious to know, with that scenario that you just painted, right? And this is, I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. I just want to hear. So in this aspect, and Trez, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is where you're going with it, right? Or what you're trying to paint, right? So assuming you go back, you find that time, we Google, right? Now let's try and retain. I done got off, got other kids. If you got other kids, you got them to bed. Hey, stay up a little later. We're going to do this part, right? We're going to learn one by one. Let's just say that teacher, whether they're there or not, they're asking us to show the work. And that particular person is not inept to be able to explain that piece. What's next? It's already 10 o'clock at night.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's already damn near midnight. And they got to go to school tomorrow with the homework done. Okay. Regardless if the teacher is there or not, or it's a missed assignment that you got to make up later on in Saturday school or some shit like that, right? Then what? What's the answer then?
You can still find a way to show the work.
Okay.
My thing is with that,
I can't.
If you showing your kid how to
showing you what it looks like,
showing how to do it that way. If you show them how to do it that way,
yeah,
they're never going to want to know how to do it that way, the right way. Because that's
in you to express what's going on and what you're doing to get that point across and let them know. So this is why we're doing it this way.
If there was Google,
I'm just telling you.
If there was Google when we was in school, half of us wouldn't know how to solve a motherfucking math equation.
Okay.
And you'll be cool with that?
No, I'm not saying it's cool to that, but you have to adapt and learn how to use your resources.
So you're just saying within these times, right now?
I'm just saying within these times.
Okay. And again, this is, I happen to feel both sides. As a parent, Trez, I'm with you. This is the picture I was trying to paint last time. Because it's not like that. And I'm not saying you wrong, P. I'm also saying, but I am saying you have to really, truly think. We talk about motherfuckers every day. Not talk about, but we're around motherfuckers every day. And you already know, damn, you don't have this, you don't know this, you don't know that. You know, it just happens, right?
Show your work.
Come on, man.
It will show you how to show your work.
Was it YouTube?
Yes. It will show you how to show your fucking work. Stop fucking playing with me.
So look,
we're not doing this shit, man.
Can you explain that shit?
We're not doing this.
Just because can you explain it?
Now you want me to explain it. You
showing your work and
explain it.
Teachers, if we switch lanes.
I'm just going off of what you said because I don't know all of that to be factual. I'm going off the information that Trez the Barbarian has gave me about these teachers only being online a short amount of time. And I believe you.
So
I found a scenario to fit that dynamic.
All right, bro.
I'm glad you said teachers because I really want to switch lanes. We talk about teachers. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to answer my own question. The question that I had in play was, how dedicated are these teachers nowadays? And I'm not even really talking about the pandemic. I think just my thoughts in general, they're not.
They're not dedicated.
They're not dedicated and not
underpaid,
connected.
Underpaid, underappreciated.
Yeah. I agree.
A lot of them don't have all of the resources that they need to fully teach a class. So, I mean...
And that's a pain point right there, that the resources aren't there for the teachers.
There's certain schools that kids can't even take a book home because they got to share in the classroom. So, I mean, that right there is a whole nother setback in itself. But as far as being a teacher, that's not really a attractive job right now. Teachers getting beat up in class. Shit.
Yeah, it's tough. And the adaptation, and this is another thing kind of too, like I wanted to touch base on. It's good that you mentioned transitioning and adapting. These teachers aren't adapting well, just like these kids and parents. It's tough, man. You got, and another thing too, you got to also figure, yeah, there are facts that Trez gave, and I'm not trying to argue with you, but I want you to see some other pieces. You guys, I'm 33.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been having kids since I was 23. I was taught a certain way, and I've been raising kids for 10 years, right?
Okay.
For 10 years, I've known to go to work, right? Now, all of a sudden, I got to become a teacher in a manner of that. So, yes, you do have to adapt, but these teachers aren't adapting well. So it's not even easy, because now I got to handle dynamics of family, providing, XYZ with the teacher being with the bullshit, and find a way to figure it out with, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough on some parents. And that's
no,
okay.
I'm not saying that it's not tough. I totally understand that it is tough. I'm just saying you have to be resourceful in accomplishing whatever goal it is that you're trying to accomplish. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and
I'm not beating nobody up.
Right.
I'm not really, it's not a hard stance. Again, I'm not in that situation.
Right.
But you have to find a way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just where we at right now. You got to find a way,
man. And I know your kid is in college, man. They didn't give me accurate enough numbers for me to sit out here and be factual about college enrollment, because they went all over the place with like LGBTQ kids and the clearinghouse for sports and all that stuff, and it was like scholarships. So they never really gave, and they don't want to give the true number, if I can be honest.
Nah, I mean,
they're probably never
giving you the true number.
So I didn't want to give the people some BS.
Right. No, I get it.
And also on the flip side, we do have parents, and there's some that have commented just recently when we discussed education on there's a way, right? We've had people comment and say, and I've had people come to me since and say, hey, there's a way. This is what you can do. Here's a couple websites, you can go to.
That's a good thing about our listeners, that, the ones that have resources, they share them.
Right. Very true. And I'm using this as kind of like a quick segue, because here's the other thing, right? So when you put a kid in a place like that, right, you talk about what's influencing them. So if we can go back a second, you said from 8, let's just say 8 to 12, right? From 9 to 12, that teacher was there for 1 hour. From 9 to 12, I can tell my daughter to Google 10 plus 20.
Yeah.
And in 10 seconds, if they got any type of access or any know-how, they on something. It may be social media. It may be some trend
totally different.
That's totally fucking different from what I asked them to do. As soon as I turn my back, right, I know my daughter, right? So I know there are times where there's gonna be, and that's hard to, because there's crazy trends out here right now. It's a lot of awkward behavior, stuff you don't agree with. Let's just call it what it is, and that is a hard piece too. Because now
lack of attention, man. Like it's
but short-term attention block span. That too.
Yeah, you can. No, that's an easy fix. That's an easy fix. But if they don't get it from there, they're going to find a way.
It's just a short-term attention span.
They are going to find a way.
No. I get that. But I'm saying if you are lucky enough to work from home and they work from home, right? You
keep an eye on it.
There's too many side distractions.
You can keep an eye on it. You
got the favorite toys.
You can block it. So if they get up from that spot, right? So I don't got to pay full attention to you. But if I have an area that I'm working in, and I've set you up in a certain area,
and
you get up from there, then that prompts me to say, "Hey, what you doing?"
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because I know from a certain amount of time you should be at that table, attached to that computer,
learning,
and you can only access what I haven't blocked.
The COVID has increased, the abuse in households, breakups in households.
Because everybody at home.
Because everybody's frustrated with one another. So you trying to tell a kid to sit down And because you over here trying to work, they don't want to sit down because they don't want to sit down because they're a kid.
They're a kid, and it's hard to contain a kid.
It's
hard.
It's crazy, bro.
It can be hard.
It can
depending
be.
on
It's just crazy, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And the good thing is, you have it's to be honest, we're still in a certain place, but I do feel overall, and I maybe I'm turning a blind eye or whatever you want to say. I do feel like it is getting a little bit better. That's just my personal opinion. It is getting better. There are different ways, different avenues to help your kids out. But again, I want to talk about some of the stuff that you've seen recently. Like, there is a lot of influence on these kids, and you see, again, P, to your point, you say, hey, we can block that. They don't have to have access to that. Even outside of education, we're just talking about you don't have to see it, but it's almost forced on them in a way.
It's out there.
I mean, recently you see the behavior by Lil Nas X. You see some of the YouTube internet content. Some of the stuff that they get abreast to, and then you just see all this funny fashion, like outside of Lil Nas X, you see them with the pregnancy picture and all of that stuff. Then you also saw the fashion. You see the in dresses, man. So I mean, awkward. But do most people kind of look at it as fashion or a new wave, or is it really just something that
we're in different times?
We are in different times, that's for sure.
I'm so old school that I probably never understand. Like I feel like my parents did.
Oh yeah, old school, just like, hey.
I feel like my parents did when I was like, you know what I mean?
Oh, would you?
When I was a teenager, I was like, man, y'all don't fucking get it, man. Yeah. Like I just looking at them now, like
never thought you'd be there though. Right?
I never thought. Like I said, I would never be like that. I said I'll never fucking be.
But this is different.
Like this shit is different.
It's
but
very
because
different.
It's so open now. I guess is the best word I could use.
It's crazy.
Like I would never be understanding. Like that's why. I'll be scared to have a son. That motherfucker come home with a dress on, talking about that style. That ain't no goddamn style.
Hey man, Jesus wore a dress.
Okay. So if your boy came home with a dress on,
now this is an advocate. I'm not
saying
dealing with
wore a dress.
So if your son came home with a dress on, styling on them boys with some J's, you gonna let it go?
I'm just gonna ask him if that's what we doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
That is not the question you gonna ask.
No, it is.
That's not gonna ask.
I don't believe it.
Hey,
I don't see it.
I don't see it either,
when my
bro.
son wore them tight jeans or something, that's what we doing.
Tight jeans and dresses is totally different, man.
I'm just saying. All I said was Jesus wore a dress.
So that gives them okay to wear a dress.
So that makes it okay.
I'm just saying, who am I to judge?
This guy here.
I say this, man. I
just feel like I'm like my parents now. I just don't understand, man. I don't think I will understand.
Yeah, but it's not for you to understand.
It's not. I just don't. That's why I don't judge.
I mean, you was a size 32 by a size 40.
You're right.
They didn't understand.
And I don't understand why I was doing that shit to this day either.
Large wearing a 4X.
Right.
Yeah. Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Baggy joints.
Fucking long ass shirt down to your knees.
If I would have known I was going to eventually grow into that motherfucker, I would have never bought it.
Yeah. That's true. Hey, we working on it though. Nah, man. I just think that there's some things.
I know.
Man,
laugh now. Figure the shit out when you get home. That shit went over a lot of people's head.
Not really.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. Yeah. Rewind it.
Here's the thing, man. We gotta invest in our kids, man. I get it. There's a lot of things.
You gotta pay attention to them.
Pay attention. Confide. Like you want to make sure that they can confide in you, making sure they can come to you whenever there's something going on. Communication, all of those things. It's just important, man.
These times, hell yeah.
Yeah, the times that we live in right now, man, we have to have a stronger communication with the kiddos. So, yeah, fellas, great conversation, great dialogue.
Hold on.
I just knew he was. I
like fucking with Trez, so.
Trey said, keep on fucking.
Keep on with me.
He said, keep on fucking.
Hey, what you doing? All right, listen, I need you to watch your mouth. I'm about to ask you a question on this podcast, so everybody go hear you.
Oh man, we got just call somebody on this motherfucker.
Hey, so this is my son because you wanted to ask me a question. What would my son do?
Okay.
All right. So one.
Nah, see, here we go.
No.
He's gonna try to flip mode because
I'm not gonna flip it.
His son gonna say he would never do it. That's what's gonna come out of his mouth.
I'm gonna shut up. You asked the question.
Nah, that's what's gonna come out of his mouth.
You asked the question. Ian, Trez got a question for you.
All right, check it out like this. So the new fashion these days is kind of crazy. I know you seen your boy. I know you play basketball. You seen your boy Westbrook. What else? Who else did it? D-Wade, Kid Cudi. You know where I'm going with it, with the dresses, the skilts.
Shit, Kid Cudi be having his nails painted.
So with that being part of the new fashion, if that shit came like all the way urban hip hop, because I mean Kanye brought the tight pants in, the leggings, and Pop said you was wearing.
Ask him the goddamn question.
No, I just want to know, would you wear it?
Would he wear what?
If the skirt came in style and your favorite rapper started wearing skirts and shit, your favorite NBA players were wearing skirts on a daily basis, would you follow the trend? Yes or no, honestly?
Nah.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Respect, young man.
All right, man. We out, man. Stop blowing me up on Tuesdays. You know what we doing. All right, love you.
I don't believe him.
Well, damn. He just told you.
So you just gonna call my son a liar?
I ain't gonna call him a liar, but just things is different when it turns into a fad.
Once it becomes a trend, I can see where you're going.
15, 20 other people doing it. Like a lot of guys said they wasn't gonna wear them skinny jeans.
A lot of guys said they weren't gonna wear them damn purses.
Right.
A lot of them motherfuckers got that shit across their chest now.
When more people start doing it, then you start looking like, okay, I'm the one that's not doing it. That's the only reason I say I don't know. Because if it became a real,
I'm gonna say this:
if little baby start wearing dresses. I'm just saying, like, if it came into if it got that popular, you know what I'm saying?
Guy that could set the trend.
What I will say
Kanye set the trend with the tight pants.
What I will say is
in the backpack.
In the backpacks. That's what I'm saying.
My son has made some questionable fashion, decisions or choices, but I have raised him well enough to know that certain things that we don't do.
I believe you.
So while the kids have went ahead and dyed their hair,
that's crazy to me too.
We missed that mark. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's just certain things that we're not doing.
That dye hair, I attach that to something else though, but that's another conversation.
I mean, whatever it is, I'm crossing the street. I don't give a fuck what it's attached to. I'm crossing the street.
That's during that rave era.
Them motherfuckers is dangerous to me. Yeah. I am scared.
I'm scared too.
Like a white woman, I'm clutching my purse. I'm crossing the street. I'm locking the fucking doors. I got my finger on the trigger of the mace.
You got professional athletes with crazy looking hair.
I don't give a fuck who they are. Wow. If I see them from a distance without my glasses on,
I'm nervous.
I am crossing the street.
And they make me nervous. You crazy.
Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and go back to my car and I'll
go down another block.
Later. You crazy.
No, I'll just do the whole event later.
I'll let
it's
you
not in my best interest to be here at this time.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. I think it was good. I think it's a good conversation to have. More to come, man. I don't want this to die down. So we'll revisit it, I'm sure. But yeah, fellas, again, amazing episode. Does anybody have anything else before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man, I just pay attention to these goddamn Dolphins.
Well, he got the colors on, so he paid a little bit of attention.
Shout out, he got that Florida blue on, man. It's looking real great out here. Hurricanes coming.
Allows me to, rock certain colors. I'm blessed.
That's great. I appreciate it. NBA season coming soon too. Couple of good fights coming up real soon.
Yep. All that. We'll be recapping. So we know you got the box. All right. So hey, continue guys to like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys for continuously listening into the UnMask'D podcast. Until next time, it's D Spins.
Trez.
P. Hey, Trez, I liked our argument too, man.
I like it too, bro.
Yeah, that was a good argument.
Hey, people, this shit ain't nothing over here, man. Y'all.
Yeah, nah,
that's what we do.
Ain't no beef, ain't none of that.
All
shit.
love.
Silly people.
Yeah.
Till next time, Cognac Crew, UnMask'D podcast. We out.
Life. For every little black child, this is life. Life. For every single parent, this is life. Life. For every brother behind bars, this is life. Hold your head.